Hey everybody, can you hear me? Had some technical issues, and I might still be having technical issues. Let's see. Let me check. Hang on. Man, when you try and do something, everything's slow. Hey, can you guys hear me okay? Test 1, test 2. Can you hear me? I think you can. Although I could be wrong. Okay, that's good. Sorry about that. I guess I have been off for a while because when I went to go live, nothing was set up. It's like, I don't know what happened there, but none of the settings were right. So, how's everybody doing on a Thursday night? Let me slide this on over a little bit. Click 455. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hello, everybody. Sorry, started a little late, but I had some technical issues. Hope everybody made some. Remember, I was going to do coffee with cow lasers every Thursday? Well, here we are. Just took a while, that's all. And this is coffee right here. Hi, Lori. Hi, everybody. So who do we got? We got William, Alan, Anna, Anon, Jake, all the usual people. Covert One, how you doing? Davio, William, Doug, Mr. Quiver, Jonesy, H.P. Erd, K-Pro, how are you? William, Click, Jerry. Get everybody. Joe S., Alan, William. Finding the Chest, that's a good name. It's a good YouTube name, huh? Finding the Chest. David, Mike, T-U-J. I don't know how to spell that one, but how you doing? And a Kentucky man. Yeah, I know it is. That's because if I do this, now look what happens. I guess I could do this. For some reason when it goes full screen, everything gets real wide. It's probably the monitor that I'm using. But that's fine. We can do it like this. Unless you guys hate it. Do you guys totally hate it? Let's see here. I'm not Mr. Technical, if you guys haven't figured that out. And that's why mostly I was making vlogs. I really wasn't going live, right? I always used to make a pre-recorded vlog where I could edit and go over some things. But then it seems like live YouTube kind of took over, didn't it? Everybody wanted to go live. Everybody wanted a panel. But we'll talk about some of those things in a little while. But really, I just wanted to go live because I know there hasn't been too much on YouTube lately. So, and some people were saying, oh, you know, what am I going to do? I don't know. Oh, read Thrill the Chase, maybe? I don't know. Just kidding. You guys do whatever you want to do. No secrets, K-Pro. Let me check. Yeah, no secrets. They're not on the desktop, William. Not on the desktop. That's what incognito mode's for. Hi, Glenna. How are you? So, what's going on? I know, let's check the football score. 14-3. That's good. All right. And what's been going on? What's the talk been? So first off, let me start with an apology. I got to apologize to somebody. Yeah. All this stuff on my phone. Hang on. Somebody says they can't view it and they're banned. No, you're not. You're not banned. It's probably because I started late. Okay, so first thing I got to do is apologize to somebody. You know, my other video, you know, that opinion video, I called somebody a knucklehead, if you guys remember. And that person emailed me and said, hey, and he's right. In that same video, I said, don't call people names, right? I said, everybody's got an opinion. And don't call people names. And then later on, I called Kyle Sandow a knucklehead. For me, knucklehead is not a derogatory term. Knucklehead's just what you kind of call somebody that, I don't know. I've called friends knucklehead. You know what I mean? I've called my kids knucklehead. So I didn't mean it as a derogatory term. But he is correct. I said don't call people names. So Kyle Sandow, I apologize. You make your videos. I call him the book man because he's always got the book. And we emailed a little bit back and forth. So you do you. Kyle. And sorry, I do apologize for calling you a knucklehead. I think no name calling is fair that we could all agree upon, right? You have a treasure map on your desktop. Oh, this? Yeah, that could be. That could be part of the grand adventure. You never know. Redneck Express. Yeah, and that's something else I'm not going to do. Is no more drinking alcohol on YouTube, at least for me. Other people do what they want, but for me, I don't drink anyway. So for me, it's coffee, just like this right here. Coffee with cow lasers. How you doing, Eddie? We got to get together sometime. If that's the Eddie I'm thinking of, because it might not be. That might be a different Eddie. Chocolate FF searcher coins. Hey, do what you got to do. I don't know about that one. It's interesting, though. That's an interesting idea. Nice Christmas gifts, right? They will be fast sellers. So how are you going to send them to people before they melt if it's chocolate? I don't know. How do people send chocolate in the mail? I don't know. Yeah, I know. But he's right. I called somebody a knucklehead. I'll call myself out on that one. Leroy's still there. He's still looking sad, isn't he? I think he wants to go home. Okay, bro. So what else is going on, everybody? So as far as Gypsies Kiss, I've seen people posting things that says, "Oh, FF must have sent a cease and desist," or Forrests, is talking to people saying, "Don't do this and don't do that," and none of that's true. At least, remember, guys, what I'm giving you is my opinion in these videos because this is my YouTube channel, and in my opinion, none of that's true. Toby and Shelly just decided to go a different way. That's all. They're still making videos, from what I've heard. They're just going to do something else. They want a different topic. Yeah, anybody can do what they want. How I have other people gone silent and what's going on, and I don't know. You're gonna have to ask them. As for me, I'm not very good at a set schedule. I was doing the Monday nights with K-Pro on the Raven's Nest, which was a lot of fun. But for me, and I'll continue to do that if that's what she chooses to do. But for me, I'm not good at saying, "Hey, every Thursday at 6 p.m. I'm gonna be live," because if you guys didn't know, I live in Las Vegas, and there's a lot of things happening out here. Sometimes I get out of work, and I'm like, you know what? Today I'm just going to go to Fremont Street, and I'm going to people watch. Or I'm going to go play poker. Or I'm going to go to a movie. Or I'm going to do whatever. I don't like to make, plans, set in stone plans. That's why with the vlogs, before the whole YouTube live thing started, with the vlogs, I would just upload one whenever I felt like I had something to say. Drawing nigh, Eduardo. A lot of people think it means to the left. But what if it means stop? The end is ever drawing nigh. In other words, the end is ever drawing closer. It's a lot closer than you think. Because I know F has said people have gone right past clues. So maybe it means stop where you're at and look around. Those clues are right there. You got to find them. I like that covert one. I like that. World Series of Poker next year. Going to be interesting. Go blue. That's right. So yeah, for me to do a schedule thing is not the best for me, for my personal situation. So yeah, I just kind of go live when I want to. If you guys remember, I had the Forest Fen said, "What?" And I tried to do a vlog a day, and I think that lasted maybe 7 or 8 days. And then I realized there's just a lot to it. Maybe actually going live for every day would be easier because you don't have to edit and you don't have to do all the stuff I was doing. And back then, I didn't have a command center, so it was a lot harder. I had one monitor to edit and answer emails and do everything on. But anyway, so for me, the reason I haven't made videos, I just haven't had anything to say. Nobody's reached out to me to say stop or this or that. No, I do what I want to do, guys. If you didn't know that, that's the truth. How is the chest hidden? IG coming out with some multiple YouTube today. That's good. Somebody else, I forget where it was, but somebody was talking about the Forest Fen leadership. AGK's gone, so who's going to be the new leadership, the new leaders of the Thrill of the Chase? Guys, there is no leader. Guys and gals, there is no leadership. Forrest is the leader. Everybody else is just giving their opinions. That's all. Some people want to give their opinions more than others, and that's fine. That's what the vlogs are for. That's what the forums are for. That's what the Facebook groups are for. But there is no leadership. There's nobody that knows something more, that has any inside information. That's been going around a lot too, right? There's no inside information being passed around, guys. Trust me. There are 3 coins on eBay right now. Well, okay. If you want one, go for it. All I'll say about Forrest is, when you get 100 emails a day, you don't have time to respond to all of them. So Forrest is going to pick and choose who he wants to respond to, right? And if that's not you, well, it's not you. And if it's not me, it's not me. But he's going to pick somebody to talk to. But I believe him when he says he's never given a hint to anyone that would get them closer to the treasure chest. So you believe what you will. There's a lot of secondhand information flying around. But my personal opinion is, sure, he talks to people just like any human does, but he hasn't given anything away. Because guess what? The chest still hasn't been found. Yes, I do have some maps. So I got the maps in the mail today, as a matter of fact. And they're right over there somewhere. So the first step is to go through and do an inventory, because I can't sell something I don't know what I have, and I don't know what I have. So I don't have the cases, I just have the maps. And me and K-Pro will decide the best way to go about selling those. So that's what we're going to do. But it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. A hymn from a biblical origin. Now, that's different. I haven't heard that one before. Yeah, Balin, anybody, I'd come in here and say I have it. Of course, I'm not going to show it to you, right? And then, anybody can say whatever they want. That's why it's all opinion. Hey, Dave, how you doing? So everybody, super chat's on. So everybody wanted to donate $500. That's legal. YouTube lets me do that. I know that people hate that. That's why I bring it up. If you want to donate $5, you want to donate 500. It's there. So AGK might be back. He's going to do Friday Fandango. His son is going to take over AGK. Oh, that's great. And, I said it before. There's room for everybody on YouTube. Nobody has a lockdown on anything. I mean, what if I wanted to go on next Friday, whenever he's going on at 8 o'clock? Then you guys decide who you want to watch. And guess what? The videos are recorded. You can watch it whenever you want. The only thing that I've done, because Toby asked, is when I was going to do the Coffee with Cow Lasers at, I believe it was 6 p.m., and I didn't realize the softer side was on. So Toby said, hey, can you do it after? We'll make sure we get off at 7 and you go on at 7. And I said, yeah, that's fine, because he asked. But I don't think anybody has schedules locked down, or you can't do this because so-and-so's doing it, and you can't do this. Anybody can do whatever they want, as long as you don't call people names, in my opinion, because it's all opinion. There is no leadership. There is no people with inside info. Yeah, I hope Toby does come back. I didn't really understand the direction they went with the Oracle thing. But, I've thought of making other videos, too. For me, I might go into UFOs. I like the whole UFO thing, cattle mutilations, crop circles, alien abductions. What if I just started making videos on that? Would you guys watch? Or what about sports betting? As I check the score, I took the over 44 in this game. We'll see. I like to sports bet out here in Vegas. What if I started making video on sports betting? Would you guys watch? I don't know. CJ Sparklin. To be honest, the channel and the videos are about anything I want them to be about. That's really the truth. I was going to fire up the drone that Brad was nice enough to send us. Thanks, Brad. Because I have the boys this weekend, and we're going to go out to the park and try the drone and see if we can not crash it into a tree. And I was just going to upload that footage. The channel's about whatever I want it to be about. Mostly it's about treasure hunts, not just the Forest Fen treasure hunt. Dilatov Pass. Oh, okay. That's the stuff I like. That's cool stuff. Like Art Bell. Exactly. Here, I want to read you guys something. I was just looking at this at work today, and I thought, should I do this? And then I didn't know if a lot of people would get it or not. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me look it up. Give me 1 second. That's the problem with live video. You gotta wait until I do some things. But if you guys familiar with George Knapp? He hosts Coast to Coast AM on Sundays sometimes. So I want to read you something, which I think is pretty cool. Oh, if only I can find it. All right, you ready? This could be my intro. You ready? Good evening, everyone. You're in the right place at the right time. This is Cow Lasers live on YouTube, coming at you from the power of the internet, blasting out of the Mojave Desert like a Scirocco, blazing across the land, into your town, into your home, through your computer monitor, slamming into your computer like a supercharged nanoparticle of unobtainium. You've arrived at a nexus point, a crossroads of shadow and light. A phantasmic oracle marketplace of ideas and blasphemies, grand melting pot of cultures and subcultures, from the benign to the bizarre. All on the same path, searching for breadcrumbs of cosmic understanding and hoping we'll be able to follow the trail back to where we started. Greetings from the boldest, bawdiest, most outrageous city in the world, the planetary capital of sun, fun, sin, sex, and secrets, my not-so-humble town, Las Vegas, Nevada. That is my little tribute to Mr. George Knapp. He hosts Coast to Coast AM on Sundays. Usually it's a UFO topic, and that's the intro that he does. So I'm glad somebody brought up Coast to Coast. And it's a shame that Art Bell died, but those are still out there. And you can still listen to those old programs on YouTube. Magic Mike, Darren Brown. I do like Magic. I like Penn and Teller. I watch Penn and Teller fool us all the time on TV. I like to watch it and then pause it and try and watch it again and try and figure out how they did it. But I'm not sure who Darren Brown is, no. Yeah, well, there might be a lady that has 250,000 followers in 6 months, but that's a lady who got 250,000 followers in 6 months. That's the way I look at it. But I'm all for somebody trying something new. I have no problem with Toby doing what he wants to do. Him and Shelley, go for it. It is almost like the intro to the Twilight Zone. I just like it that he's from Las Vegas. I'm from Las Vegas. And George Knapp, if you don't know, he's the one that interviewed Bob Lazar in 1988 about the UFOs at Area 51. So he's pretty much the one who opened the door on the whole UFO, aliens, Area 51 type thing. Uh-oh, we already got messages retracted. I don't have any moderator in here. I hope I don't need one in the future. All right, so let's go back to Forrest Fenn. Yeah, there's no inside information, people. Forrest talks to whoever he wants to talk to. Forrest invites people into his house who he wants to invite. But when he says he's never told anybody anything that would get them closer to the chest, I personally believe it. And here's the other thing. Some people have said and commented that Forrest is getting dementia, and maybe he let something slip. And, you know, he's 88 years old. I met Forrest twice. The raffle for Jay Diggins, I was at his house twice. And, of course, I saw him at the Collected Works bookstore a couple times. But he is Forrest Fenn's mind is fine, everybody. He is not starting the beginning symptoms of dementia. You know how I know that? Because he's got over 100 and something articles in his collection in his den, and you can just point at one and he'll tell you all about it. If he had problems with his memory, problems with dementia, Alzheimer's, he's not going to remember any of that stuff. And he never stumbled. I mean, he knew exactly what he was talking about with each one of those items. And we went over a lot of that stuff. So all that talk that maybe he's slipping and he's getting old and all that, don't believe it. Oh, Reno. I've never been there, Mike. I've always wanted to go. The biggest little city in the world. I used to watch Reno 911. That show is great. If I could ever find those on DVD or online, I'd definitely watch those. Those were some funny shows. Covert 1, I hope the silver coins are still planned. As far as I know, they are. But that was K-Pro's idea, so it's really up to K-Pro. I know I'm going to do a grand adventure for at least one of them, but a lot of those details we still need to iron out. And we have time, you know. Next spring is still a couple months away. But yeah, I thought that was a great idea to do some treasure hunts, and I hope that that happens and that we hide them all over the place and we give out the clues and somebody goes out there and finds them. And for the people who do find them, I want you to come on the YouTube channel, whether it's my channel or the Raven's Nest or anybody's YouTube channel, and just explain how you found them and how you put the clues together. And really, a boots on the ground video would be great too. Yeah, exactly, Dave. I agree. Same thing. Forrest doesn't seem sharp. He is sharp. Trust me. You know, when you shake the man's hand and you look him in the eye, you can tell. And something he told me that I always thought was awesome is he said, my shadow is not cast by a fool. That's Forrest Fenn. They should put that on his tombstone. My shadow is not cast by a fool. And it's true. Okay, Olaf on the river. In questions asked, FF, some dude asked, we are looking in New Mexico. Are we on the right track? And FF said, go back to the poem and start where warm waters halt. Sounds like it's not in New Mexico. Thoughts? No. He's just saying wherever you're at, if you don't have your warm waters halt, go back to the poem. He said it so many times to us in so many different ways. We got to go back to that poem. Yep. When K-Pro, all these people that are taking a break from YouTube, I'm going to let them speak for themselves. I'm not going to speak for anybody. But I know K-Pro will be back. And I know she's going to address a lot of things when she comes back. You guys just have to wait for the right time. That's all. Oh, that's nice, William. All right. So what else? Here's the other thing. I think some brand new people are going to be making YouTube videos. I've seen a couple floating around, so that's pretty cool. Oh, yeah, Jingle Bell Rock. It's coming up, too. All right, Jeremy, I'll talk about it. Okay, so there's a radio station in Las Vegas. It's called 96.3. From the week after Thanksgiving to the week before Christmas. So it matters what week in December you're going to be out here, Jeremy, or whoever it is. 3 times a day, they put clues out on the radio. They also do physical clues. You have to go to a casino, whoever the sponsor is, to pick up. And then there's also a picture clue once a week. And that is for the Jingle Bell Rock. The Jingle Bell Rock is a flat paving stone, just like you would see in somebody's backyard, right? But on the underside of it, it says, this is the 96.3 KKLZ Jingle Bell Rock. Find it, turn it into the radio station, and you get $10,000. It's done every year. It's probably been done for the last 20 years out here. I just got involved a couple years ago. But my friend Decal, he has a website. And if I remember off the top of my head, is jinglebellrock.info. Let me go to it and make sure I got that right. Jinglebellrock, all one word, .info. Jinglebellrock.info. And it's coming up. It's going to start right after Thanksgiving. So what's that, 3 weeks away? Nope, I got that wrong. That is not it. I'll find what Decal. People want to know, so put it out. Actually, if you just look up Las Vegas 96.3 Jingle Bell Rock info, you'll see the radio station website, but you'll see his. You'll see it. And there's a chat kind of like this. Everybody gets in that chat that's here in Vegas, and we talk about the clues, and people are saying, I was here this day, and I was there that day, and it's a lot of fun. Just think about it. The radio station hides a rock, and it's out there, and somebody's going to find it and get $10,000. Me and my boys go out there and look sometimes. But there's people that are out there on day one when they don't even know where it is. They just drive streets looking for it, which is kind of crazy. I don't do that, but if I have an idea of where it is, I'll go look. Yeah, so first week of December, yeah, Jeremy, you're in. Now, what they did last year, unfortunately, is for 2 weeks they gave out clues, but they didn't hide the rock yet, which to me makes no sense whatsoever. The reason they did it is because somebody found it on like day 3 last year. And the reason they found it is because they hit it in the same spot they hit it in a couple years before. So I hope they learned their lesson on that. And I hope that they're going to hide the rock from the beginning this time. But there'll be a Jingle Bell Rock party. They do it every year, the radio station, where you can go see the rock. And maybe I'll do a little vlog from there. Maybe I'll even do a YouTube live from there. We'll see. So, yeah, if you're here the first week or somebody you know, let me know, Jeremy. And it depends what the clues are. Sometimes the clues are so generic you don't know where it's at. Because the other thing is Clark County stretches all the way from Laughlin all the way to Indian Springs by Prim. I mean, it's a large, large area. And as the days go on, they kind of narrow it down. So it's a long shot, but you could find it. Just like somebody found it like in the first week last year. All right, Bill Corbin, let's talk about, is the chest buried or not? If Forrest Fenn buried that chest, one, he would have had to have taken a shovel, right? So he makes his 2 trips from the car, but he's also carrying a shovel. And what did he do with the dirt? If he dug a hole, let's say it's, 2 feet down, 3 feet down. If he did bury it, how deep does it have to be? Remember he says how deep is a hole? What did he do with that dirt? And I know it's 8 years later and that dirt would have blown away or whatever now, but on the day he hit it, what about the dirt? And if he did bury it up, if he did unearth a hole and bury it, wouldn't that round circle be right there where you just buried something? Wouldn't he be worried about somebody coming behind him that day, the next week, and see that dirt's been disturbed? I mean, from what I've heard is people say in Yellowstone there is no dirt. It's just rocks. So could he have buried it just by picking up rocks and like volcanic rock? So I don't think it's buried. I personally don't think it's buried. And I think that's why he's always said, I didn't say I buried it. I said I hid it. So he hid it in some way. Yeah, there is a shovel in the new article. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it's just for chatting. I just thought, hey, coffee with cow lasers. Everybody, come on in and let's talk. What do you guys want to talk about? Oh, and I got it as far as the silver coins covert one. Check this out. Jeff Mapes just sent in one of his coins because he wants it buried with one of the silver coins. K-Pro, you probably didn't even know about this. This is number 272. And this will be buried with, not buried, however we hide it. We're not going to bury the coins. Even I did it. When the silver coins are buried, this one will go with one of them. And I'm not going to tell you which one. You're just going to have to find it. And so you might be lucky enough to find a silver one and a copper one, which is awesome. We need to score a little bit on football. Yeah, he buried bells all over Mexico, New Mexico. That's true. Oh, and you guys remember? I just wanted to give an update. You remember there was a searcher that had some car problems, and she wanted to sell her searcher coin and make some money for those repairs. Well, that happened. Somebody reached out to me and said, I will give her this much for the coin. And I put those two people in contact, and that's what happened. They did the deal. So I'm glad that worked out. And I think she got a lot more money than she would have if she just would have put it on eBay. So that was a good ending. Nevada City and Grass Valley. Okay, cool. Never heard of Grass Valley, but I think I've heard of Nevada City. Copper is $3.50 a pound. Well, it's plated. It's not real copper. Sakar, how you doing, Glenna? All right, let me show you guys something. Okay, we got a book, right? In this book, we got a poem. So we got a book, we got a poem, and we got 9 clues in that poem. Right? Everybody remembers that, right? Let's go back to the basics. But at the end of the book, we've got omegas. And this says colophon right here. Right? Now, I thought the omegas were the colophon, but the colophon is actually this, right? Isn't that like verbiage? When I look up colophon, my question is the omegas part of the colophon? What do you guys think? So I don't know the actual answer to that. Are the omegas part of the colophon? And if it is, why would it need to put the word colophon there? Colophon? Am I saying that right? And then, remember, we had a book, we had a poem, we had 9 clues. But then, later, we had 2 books. And we had a map, remember? And at the end of this book, we've got omegas. And we've got colophon again. Are the omegas the colophon? Or is the colophon the words down here? And the omegas are just there for, I don't know, dramatic effect, maybe? Or is he trying to tell us something? That's the real question, right? I know people, their entire solves are based on that the omegas that are in the book. I think I just bent my map. That's okay. Get in there the right way. So we had a book, and we had a poem, and we had 9 clues, and we had 2 omegas. And then we had a second book with a map and 2 omegas, right? There's specific meaning for the 2 omegas. I know covert one. That's what everybody thinks. And there might be. I'm not saying you're wrong. And you're right. The omegas are there before the colophon, so it's separate, right? That's what I think, too. I think the colophon is for the verbiage below. The omegas are there. But then we had a third book, Once Upon a While. And this book had a clue in it, didn't it? Well, it's kind of a clue because it was in the foreword from Douglas Preston. So Douglas Preston says Forrest Fenn told him a clue. And I don't know if Forrest has ever clarified about that Denver museum. But at the back of this book, guess what? Does anybody know already? What's at the back of Once Upon a While? Colophon. That's right. Colophon again. But there's no omegas in the back of this book. Is there? Or am I just missing it? When I look through this book, I don't see any omegas. Did you guys know that? Did you guys realize that? And this is the first edition, Once Upon a While. Now, there's going to be another book, right? There's going to be a new edition of this book, and it has some revisions. And guess what? That next edition that's going to be coming out with the revisions has 1 omega. If you didn't know, I'm confirming right now for all of you, if you didn't know, that book will have 1 omega, not 2. Will it have a colophon? I'm assuming it does, but it only has one omega. So what could he be telling us? There's 2 omegas in the first book. There's 2 omegas in the second book. There aren't any omegas in the third book, but the third book is going to be revised, and that one will have 1 omega. I personally think maybe he did that to show the omegas don't mean anything. Mean anything as far as the solution to the chest. I could be wrong. Maybe he likes omegas, right? Omegas are a sneaky way of Forrest putting FF. In short form radio, it means FF. Really? I didn't know that, William. But then why in the revised Once Upon a While that's coming out is there only 1 omega for F? I don't know. So $17 a square inch has double omegas. Now, if every book that Forrest came out with had double omegas, I would say, okay, then it has nothing to do with the treasure chest. Mindy, it should work if you turn it on. But you know what? I've had the same issues with some of the other YouTube channels. I'm never notified when they go live either, and I don't know why that is. But here's what a suggestion. I would suggest you guys go to Kalazar's Grand Adventure on Facebook, because what I'll do is every time I'm going to go live or I'm going to make a video, I'll post it there first and give you guys a heads up. How about that? So between the bell on YouTube and the group and Facebook, you guys should know. There are some people, Sledneck, who have gotten their book in the mail, believe it or not. And so I got that confirmed from 2 different people. If it was just one person, I'd be like, okay, you know, show me a picture. But 2 people have said that. So that's how I know there's only 1 omega in the revised Once Upon a While. Or maybe he's getting older towards the end. I don't know. You know, what if the Blaze was an omega? That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? But, you know, I don't usually like to make videos where I just sit here and go, let's talk about what the Blaze could be for an hour. Because people have talked about that over and over again. Alan, what is story number 40? Do you mean in Once Upon a While or in the revised one? Because I do not have a copy of the revised book yet. 40, I'm looking it up right now. Are these in order? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's 140. Okay. 40. Captain America's 42. $40 is the comics, and look, we got two searchers right there. I don't know if that's a beer or if that's a chest. Oh, actually, it's a comic book. If you look in there real close, that is a comic book. So it's 2 people sharing a comic book. Mariner, it says B minus. I can't tell what the comic is. That's interesting. What comic that is. But it's really cool that he put the comics in there. When I first got involved in the chase, I thought the Marvel Gaze had something to do with Marvel Comics. And then, of course, in the book, he thanks Thor, right? So I went down that rabbit hole of trying to look up all the stuff having to do with comics and what comics were around in the 30s and 40s. I know, Mindy, and I don't know why that is. Because I think it worked for some people. So... But like I say, I have the same issue. Some people go live, I don't get notified either, and I've got their bell click, so it's just a YouTube thing, I guess. The Blaze is a heart. Well, it could be. 39 chapters. Did Forrest just change from FF to F? Where? Have you seen anywhere else? Well, I know when he replies to emails, he just puts F, right? But in his books, why all of a sudden 1 omega when there used to be 2? Thor, that's right, K-Pro. He thanks Thor in the book. And Mindy, I still got your Flywater book, so let me know when you want it back. And no, I still haven't read it. Sorry. I think somebody gave me another copy. Wait. Flywater. I thought I had 2 copies, but maybe not. But yeah, whenever you want that back, let me know. Minotaur Moreno, what's the biggest rabbit hole? I'm assuming you're asking me that I have gone down in this chase. The biggest rabbit hole for me was the sliding of the lines in the poem. When I first heard that from a searcher, I thought that was it. I thought he was onto something. Try the wheel. That is vlog 9. The word is key. Maybe I should redo that because that vlog was kind of long and I was trying to explain it. Maybe I should do an updated version because a lot of people don't know about it. But if the word that is key is treasures in the first stanza, and the reason that treasures is bold is because it's the only word that has 9 letters. All the other words in the 166 word poem are 7 letters or less. And he could have used the word treasures over again. He says gold, he says riches, he says trove, but he only uses it once, and he only calls it bold once. The word treasures is bold because it's the biggest word in the poem. If that's the word that is key, and on the second stanza when it says begin it being the word that is key, so you begin the word treasures where warm waters halt. Where does that line halt? It halts on a T. So you spell the word treasures down crossword style in the poem, and you can shift lines left and right to do that. When you do that, right next to treasures, it says, try the wheel. And if you also line it up a different way, it says, try the wheel. Hey, Steve, thank you. Super chat. I appreciate that. It says, try the wheel, WYMN, I believe, or MT for Wyoming, Montana. And that try the wheel had me. I really researched the big medicine wheel that's in the big medicine wheel in Wyoming that's in the Bighorn Mountains. I'd say 6 months I was down that rabbit hole. Try the wheel. Try the wheel. What's he telling us? What could it be? The other thing was, in the Gypsies, the Gypsies drawing, he was underneath the wagon, right? Watching the Gypsies dance around the fire, and those big wagon wheels were right there in the picture. So I thought, try the wheel. Is he trying to point to this illustration? Is something going on? Oh, that's right, Mindy. Yeah, let's collaborate on the Jingle Bell Rock. That could be fun. William, what did William say? Wait a minute, Chris Yates. In the latest article, F confirmed. But, okay, that's interesting you bring that up. But let me finish with the try the wheel. The other thing is the anagram in the poem. You guys know about the no place for the meek anagram that anagrams to Matitsi, pitchfork, realm of horn. Well, that big medicine wheel, the biggest one in the U.S., is up there in the Bighorn Mountains. So I thought it all kind of tied in, but I couldn't make it work. If that's coincidence, though, that's a hell of a coincidence. He did say there's no codes or ciphers needed. The question is sliding the poem left and right a code? And you're right, it probably is. And that's why I say it was the biggest rabbit hole that I did go down. So let's talk about that article. There was an article that actually came out in January, but the first time I saw it was today, and I posted it in the Grand Adventure. And Forrests said he gets 100 emails a day. He gets over 100 emails a day. And what he does is he scans the emails for keywords. If you guys don't know about the article, go to Calazar's Grand Adventure on Facebook. You can read the article. He said that he scans the emails for keywords, plural. And it must have something to do with the solution, right? Because he's looking for certain things to see if people are on the right track. But, Chris Yates, in my opinion, that does not mean those are the same words that we are supposed to focus on. It doesn't mean it's the same, that we're supposed to be in tight focus with a word that is key. It doesn't mean it's the same word. My opinion, we don't know that's the same thing. So if you haven't read that article, check it out. I was surprised to see that he scans emails for keywords. And think about it. What would he be looking for? I mean, the name of the blaze would probably be a good keyword, right? So if somebody sends him a solution and he's looking for what the blaze is, that would be one thing he could look for. I just look at it as he doesn't want to read all these emails. You get 100 emails a day. I mean, that's crazy. So he just kind of scans through. But I think those words are different than the word that we're supposed to focus on, the word that is key. Bill Gorman found elephants in the rabbit hole. What's that, K-Pro? I must have missed it. I need to answer about what? William, keyword was cold. Sorry, the key is cold. The key in the chest is cold. That's true. I believe everything in that chest is probably freezing cold right about now after being out there for 8 years. Thanks, Mindy. I appreciate that. The game is on. So yeah, I'll come on a little bit more often. You know, if I used to make vlogs and never thought of YouTube Live because I really didn't know if people would like this format of just kind of off the top of the head talking about things. At least when I go live, when I make a vlog, I can edit it. If I repeated things a bunch of times, I can edit it down. But if live seems to be that everybody likes, that's fine. We can do that. Right, right. Only 3 people each did it once, and none emailed them again, Minotaur. You were correct. Um, there's something going on here, guys. It's hard. The poem is very hard. What does he keep saying? Go back to where warm waters halt. Go back to the poem. Go back to the poem. You know, 350,000 searchers, and only 3 have emailed him some keywords that he's looking for. Something is going on that we're not putting together. I keep going back to his important possibility. A treasure searcher using logic could determine one important possibility. And he says, consider the what ifs. So there's something going on that makes us think a little bit different. He said the person that finds it will have used their imagination. Something is happening here. And I hope someday we find out what it is. What's in the tube behind me? Oh, there is a map from Fembury in the tube, and the other one's empty. But that is one of the Fembury maps in that tube, which I haven't really, I meant to frame it, but I haven't really pulled it out and done anything with it. It's a map, one of the Fembury maps, the map like what's on the wall. I forget what number, but simplify. That's right, Marty. There's something going on that I hope once we know the solution, we're all going to go, oh, why didn't I think of that? I hope. I hope it's not the other way, where we go, oh, how were we supposed to figure that out? But Forrest is smart. He says he thought of everything, and I think it'll be one of those where we're like, I should have got it. All right, Heather Dawn, good night. The logic proof rabbit hole. What a mess. What do you mean, Jonesy? What do you mean by the logic proof rabbit hole? The whole poem is an anagram? I've heard that from people, too. They anagram every single line. To me, that's pretty crazy. I mean, there's another line that says, Gallatin holds someone dear. Did you guys know that? I forget which line of the poem it is, but it anagrams perfectly to Gallatin holds someone dear. Kind of interesting, right? That's up there by Yellowstone. Doug, I think it might be an abstract solution. I do think that each clue is a location on a map, and we follow them to the treasure. But to figure out where that warm waters is that he's talking about, it might be an abstract solution. Pragmatic. Yeah, a realist. That's true. I mean, it is what it is. It's very difficult. Why do you think it takes finding the chest? Why do you think it takes Forrest 11 lines to actually say the word you, your, when in the beginning he's using the you understood format? I'm not sure. Do you mean like the point of view changes? I'm not sure what you mean, the you, your. I'm looking at the poem right now. If you've been wise, look quickly down. Well, it's I. He's talking about as I have gone alone in there, and then it's begin it, and then he switches to if you've been wise, look quickly down, but Terry scant. Then he goes back to why is it that I must go. So there's a point of view happening. There's a point of view shift in the poem, right? But that try the wheel, that's the one that really hung me up there for a while. And thanks, Steve Klein. I really appreciate that. Forrest lost confidence when he had cancer. Lost confidence in what? 222? I'm not sure what you meant. What you mean? That's right, K-Pro. Quit being so hateful to everybody. You know what? Everybody has their opinion, and I think some people expressed it very strongly, and some people reacted negatively to that, and some people liked it. Whatever. People can do whatever they want. Just don't call each other names. That's all. That's my opinion. And remember, all these are opinions, guys. All the YouTube videos, including this one, is just my opinion. Why do you think Forrest said the solution is like riding a bicycle with reverse directions? Yeah, Smarter Every Day, that YouTube channel. Because I think our mindset has got to change. We got to think different things in order to figure this thing out. Everybody is like, okay, it's a hot spring. It's a warm waters. You know, it's a hot spring. It's a waterfall. It's this. And then you go find a canyon and Homer Brown. It's there's got to be something other than that. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be, because it would, not that it would have been found. I just hope Forrest didn't just pick a hot spring and say, okay, out of the 1,000, they just got to get lucky and pick this one. I hope there's something more to it that points us to that hot spring. Is it in stanza number 1? I don't know. But I will tell you this, and I said this in a vlog a little while ago. I was in New Mexico for a long time because of the fishing regulations. I don't think that way anymore. I do think it is up in the Yellowstone area. Because if it is a place that he's always known about, a special place, and that he considers it his and his alone, to me, that's how a child thinks. This is my place. So I think it's a place he visited when he was a child. Or a teenager, you know, somewhere around there. Because he was the fishing guide and all that up in that area. They went every summer. You know, if you're going to go somewhere every summer when you're out of school, that's going to be a special place. So I think it's up in that area. And when he says 2 can keep a secret if one of them is dead, a lot of people think it's his father. I personally think it's Skippy. I think it's a place that him and Skippy found. Maybe it's a fishing hole. Maybe it's something else. And that now that Skippy's gone, Forrest is the only one who knows. And once Forrest is gone, nobody will know until we figure that poem out. Sledneck. Steve gave you $50 to burn a map on live. I'm assuming you mean YouTube. Hey, that's a possibility. We'll see. Once I do an inventory, we're not going to do anything with the maps till we do an inventory. And that inventory is going to take a while for 700 maps. I'm going to have to do an Excel spreadsheet and figure out, you know, the first thing is how many are in each state, right? The 3 states. I got to know how many are in each one and then what areas and all that fun stuff. Yeah, just pick a Utah one. That's funny. Someone needs to set something on fire. Page 45, illustration hints. I've never thought there were hints in the illustration. It's just me personally. I know the try the wheel made me think of the gypsy drawing, and isn't it interesting? That's the one that went in the silent auction. But yeah, I don't think there are any hints in the illustrations or the pictures. And people are like, it's photoshopped. He's doing something on purpose. But that's okay. And everybody can think what they want to think. That's just what I think, because I don't see it. It's like the people who see these images on Google Earth. They're like, look, see the trees? It looks like a horse, or it looks like a cowboy hat, or it looks like this. All that's subjective. It looks like that to you, but it might not look like it to Forrest, and it might look something like something else to me. I hope the solution is more objective and not subjective. Any treasure hunt, I hope, is objective. That there's a set solution. This was it, and then once you figure it out, you go, oh, okay, now it makes sense. I haven't been through a Minotaur yet, so I don't know. I hope so. Wouldn't that be nice? But I haven't been through them yet. When I say Yellowstone, the video just cuts off. That'd be kind of funny to do, right? Don't inventory anything. Sell that bad boy as a lot. If anybody's interested in the map collection as a whole, let me know. You know, I'm not making any promises, but if anybody's also interested in an area, like this is the map I want, if it's there, let me know. You don't have to wait. Let me know. Nice, Steve. K-Pro, I think K-Pro's serious. I think she really wants a map burned, but we're not going to do that. Not here. Maybe out in the desert somewhere. Well, 23 Monarcha, what do you mean not when it comes to the poem? I can give you my opinion on what I think the poem is trying to communicate, and that's all it is. It's an opinion, right? So everything's an opinion. The only thing that's not opinion is what comes from Forrest. You know. Sakar, do you believe warm water's halt is a geothermal feature in which you can stick your foot in and it's warm? I think if you take the poem literally, wouldn't that be the most simple explanation? And what has Forrest Fenn said in the past? Simplify. So yeah, I think it is, and that's why another reason I left New Mexico with the fishing regulations. The fishing regulations was a designation on a map, and Forrest has said you need a good map. Now I'm starting to think that it is a physical body of water that is warm to the touch, and you still need a good map to find it. So simplify. It's that simple. Find the right warm waters, whatever that is. Take it in the canyon down, and to me, that means the water, the flow of the water. Doesn't mean you have to go south, direction-wise. Whichever way that water's flowing, that's down the canyon, in my opinion. And then you keep going, not far, but too far to walk, and then you put in below a home of brown. We just got to figure it out. I know, look how many hot springs there are in the Rockies. There's not thousands like Forrest said. There's thousands of places where warm waters halt. So you have to start, your starting point is at a hot springs. Maybe you should think again. Well, he said there's 1,000 places north of Santa Fe where warm waters halt. Look at the big picture, is what he said. What does that mean? Look at the big picture. I don't know yet. No, Glacier National Park, that's a big picture, but it's not warm to the touch. It's where warm waters halt because of the name of Glacier. Godelkin, what's the difference between thermal and geothermal? I think, and you just pointed that out, I think thermal is just warm. Geothermal means it has to be warm from the earth. Do I got that right? Geo, let me know if I got that wrong. What in halt mean where it's not warm anymore? That's right. That's right. You got to figure out where they halt. So yeah, but how do you figure out where something halts if you don't know what it is? If you don't find out what it is, then you can figure out where it halts. Let's say it is a hot spring. Where does it halt? I mean, it could be 3 different sides. If you find the right hot spring, you have to look for the canyon, right? If you find the right warm waters, find the canyon that's in the nearest vicinity, and that would be the right one. Man in the barn, someone told me a part of my solve was too simple. I'm not sure anything is too simple. Do you think the solve could be too simple? Forrest has said simplify. He keeps saying go back to the poem. Maybe it is a lot more simple than we think it is. I think people have a very large tendency to overcomplicate things. I know I've done it. The whole try the wheel thing was overcomplicating big time. So I think it is simple. Calazars, you understood is when the subject, you, in this case the reader of the poem, is implied rather than stated outright. He finally mentions you in line 13 halfway through the poem. You understood is when the subject, you. I don't know then, finding the chest. I don't know why he set it up that way. I mean, the first stanza he's talking about himself. Second stanza he's talking about it. What is it? And then the fourth stanza he's talking about you, the reader. So that is interesting. The point of view changes, I would say, 3 times through the poem. That is interesting. Let me think about that. And that's why when he says using logic, we can determine something. I think it's things like that that might just crack it open. We'll see. Maybe there's a clue in simplify. Simple fly, the old fly fisherman. The Rio Grande Rift is a hot spring. Okay, I'm not familiar with the Rio Grande Rift. Oots in Rainbow Canyon. Okay. We're not burning a map, K-Pro. Cut it out. Where warm water stops, cool water starts. It's simple. That's true, but where? And how many places does that happen in the Rocky Mountains? But I think with the time change this Saturday, I think the season is officially done. So now we all get to plan and scheme and look on maps and figure it out for the spring. And that's fun. Burning Map 2019 instead of Burning Man. That's pretty funny. Yeah, like the stock market. It may be easy, but it sure isn't simple. I agree, Redneck Express. So what else is going on? We've got the silver coins that are going to happen next spring. We've got the maps. We're going to figure out what we're going to do with them. And don't worry, if you want one, you will have a chance to buy one. We got some other things happening. Should be a good, I think next year is going to be interesting. Look up the definition of halt. Now, a lot of people have said halt is a military term. I was in the military. I know what halt means. As Forrest said, 100%, it can't be retrieved in the winter. From what I remember, as Forrest said, if you knew exactly where it was, you could probably find it in any weather. But we don't know exactly where it was. The question I would have is the blaze covered up by snow? Can the blaze be covered up by the elements, by the snow? If the blaze is covered by snowfall, well then there's no point in searching in the wintertime, in my opinion, right? Cool water, Roy Rogers. I have no idea what that means. Cooy. Coy? I don't know. Forrest lives vicariously through the searchers. He turned me into a pre-Columbian mammoth. That's right, Bill. And I'm sure he gets a kick and he likes a lot of the emails, but it's just so many. I mean, it's crazy. And like I say, he's going to pick and choose who he wants to respond to. If you end up finding the chest, Steve Wayne, will you throw a big party bash for all the searchers to come and tell stories and stuff? Well, here's the deal about me finding the chest. If Cow Lasers, me, found the chest, I would really want to put it in a video and explain it all and all that stuff. But you know how many people would be pissed off and say I had inside knowledge because I've been to Forrest's house and because I did the coin and all that stuff? And I don't know if I want the headache. So I might be one of those people that if I found it, I would tell Forrest and I would tell him, get it out to the community. But I don't know. I might remain anonymous. I'd have to think about that. Seriously. Because I don't know what I would do with the chest, you know? Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I would want part of it to go to my kids, so some of the coins and things. I'm sure my mother would get the bracelet, or Forrest would get the bracelet, but isn't there some other things in there? Maybe the frog? I don't know. I know one person who would get the frog. But I would have to split it up and then decide. But if you're going to remain anonymous, what you do is just a little bit at a time. You know, you go down to the pawn shop and you go, hey, how much for this coin? That type thing. And you just sit on it for a very long time. Put it in the vault and sell it piece by piece. It all depends where we are in our financial situation, right? Right. That's right, Faith Hunter. But you have to know precisely where it was hidden, and none of us do, because if we did, we would have found it, right? So while he can say that, and it's a true statement, I don't think it helps saying, should I go look for it in the winter? No, you shouldn't, because you don't know precisely where it is. You think you do, but you probably don't. Oh, here's the other thing with try the wheel. And somebody emailed me this solution, this theory, and they said it was okay to put it in a vlog. So I'm going to, from off the top of my head, I'm going to talk about it right now. His idea was, a lot of people when they see if you're wise and found the blaze, look quickly down, is the star of Bethlehem. They tie it into astronomy and the stars. If you've been wise, the wise men, the blaze is that star that led the wise men. And then I thought about that, and I thought of try the wheel. I thought of the message in the poem of try the wheel. Has anybody ever heard of a star wheel? A star wheel, if I remember right, is one of those things you could do in a planetarium where you turn it and you see the different constellations. A star wheel. Let me look that up and make sure I got that right. I'm pretty sure I got it right. Star wheel. So try the wheel. I thought, wow, that could be interesting. Yeah, how to make a star wheel and observe the night sky. Let me get these books out of here. So I thought, So I kind of went down that rabbit hole a little bit of astronomy. Could it be stars? Could the poem be referencing stars somehow, some way? Well, first, begin at where warm waters halt. How does that relate to astronomy? How does that relate to stars? Well, if you look at astrological signs, there are some water signs, right? Pisces, the fish. I believe Aquarius is a water sign. I think there's 3. I'm Cancer, personally, myself, and I've never gotten into astrology at all. But the whole idea of it's either based on stars or astrology I thought was pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I just kicked it around. And the email I got was a very long, convoluted email about how you could positioning of the stars on the day he hit it, and it pinpoints a spot and all this. And I don't want to get into all that, but that try the wheel could be a star wheel, and then it has to do with constellations, I thought was really cool. And if I remember right, there might even have been a post or two on Dale's blog where people had those solutions using stars. The chest loses way too much value if not kept intact 100%. I wouldn't split it up. And that's true, Redneck Express, but the question is, can you sell it and remain anonymous? Could you give it to an auction house and say, I want to remain anonymous? I guess you probably could. Yeah, it's nice, Marty. The Age of Aquarius, right. And the whole, I thought it was an interesting idea with the star thing. And there were some other things, if I look real quick. No paddle up your creek. I think there was, not that there's a creek, a Constellation Creek, but there's something to do like a waterway. And much like anything else, you can make that poem fit a lot of things if you really wanted to. Christy Thorgood, who is that? I think somebody is, I'm not going to go there. I don't know. I have no idea if we're going to burn a map or not. It would be interesting though, wouldn't it? And why would we burn the maps anyway? Yeah, and the dove is, or the turtle dove, or whatever that bird is in the sitting on the moon, and the lumberjack is looking up at the stars, right? And in the book, Thrill of the Chase, he talks about Peggy watching Dancing with the Stars. You guys remember? There's some tie ins to stars in the book. It's an interesting thing when you start looking at it. Now, I have never seriously looked at it, but the blaze, the sun kind of is a blaze, right? It's all about the night sky, maybe. It's an interesting idea. Hey, K Pro, I'll send you an invite right now. Do you want to come in and say a couple things? You're invited. I agree, 23 Monarcha. If a searcher listens more to his or herself more than the poem, they have no chance at all. You're right. It's all in the poem. We just got to figure out what exactly he means. Suzanne Summers might buy it for a good price under the table. Are we talking about the maps? That would be interesting. Suzanne Summers, good old Chrissy from Three's Company. Just checking my email. Nothing's there. Okay. So we've been going about an hour. You guys want to talk about anything else? That's right, Michael. A lot of people have said that. They're like, yeah, I want a map of my search area, but then I have to tell you what my search area is. So I don't know. I don't. I can't tell you if I have a particular map if you don't tell me which one you're looking for. So there is that dilemma. All I can tell you is if you give me your search area, I'm not going to jump in the car and go racing out there. I can promise you that. Movie stars: Robert Redford, Natalie Wood. That's right. There are movie stars in the book. And here's another thing. I don't know if it's a rabbit hole, but in the Thrill of the Chase, he says he took that Time magazine and he threw it in the trash. Well, when that Time magazine is from because he says the one author died the next day. And if you look up what Time magazine that was, and I think, but this is 5 years ago, I think I bought a subscription to Time just for that, just so I could look up which Time magazine it was. There's an article in that Time magazine that has Indiana Jones in it. So I thought that was kind of cool. I thought maybe that was a little nod to Forrest being Indiana Jones and being a archaeologist and treasure hunter, searcher, and all that fun stuff. For framing, those maps need not be cataloged. Just like poker, you got to pay to see them. But Jonesy, I need to catalog them. I can't sell something if I don't know what I have to sell. So I've got to catalog them. That doesn't mean I'm going to pass on to you guys what we have, me and K-Pro. But I definitely need to go through them. Yeah, and Forrest, you got everything in your house cataloged, but not those maps. I mean, like a list that you could have. Never mind. I will go boots on the ground with you. Depends where we're going. Where are we going and when? Stars on the cover of Once Upon a While. That's right. Look at that. You talk about a star solution. I mean, look at all this. So it's kind of an interesting thing. And then Douglas says in the foreword about the Denver Museum of Science. I wonder if there's any kind of a star exhibit there or anything to do with the stars in that museum. What's the latest with Charissa and her situation? Will there be an event for her? Covert One, there will not be an event that I know of because that kind of got shut down. So, I put her PayPal link out there. Sasha put the GoFundMe out there, which was great. So there's a way to donate. And that's all that I know of that's happening. I hope Dig and Gypsy and her sisters are doing okay. She posts Facebook updates all the time, and they're rebuilding, and they're doing what they got to do. But no, there's not going to be a raffle or anything. Time magazine in the trash. Time equals quickly. Trash can equals look down. Look quickly down. That's interesting. Could time be the blaze in some way? Yeah, that's right. A lot of people do have more than one location. And that's why they might want more than one map, right? That was the thinking anyway. Maybe Forrest melted the chest and feeds it to guests when they drink from Jackie's brandy bottle. Wow, Marty Bird, there's a conspiracy theory if I ever had one. And since I drank out of it, don't appreciate that too much. Dancing with Stars is a legit solution. Nothing lasts forever except the stars, the Sphinx, and Forrest Fenn. That's nice, Jeremy. I like that. And what did Forrest say? My shadow is not cast by a fool. And what makes the shadow? The sun. It's all got to do with the night sky, guys, or the day sky. Plant stars. What's the sun? A star. Huh? You see what we're doing here? See how we're figuring it out? What's in the back cover of that Time magazine? I don't know. I'd have to look that up. Maybe I'll find that Time magazine, put it on eBay. Just kidding. What are the dates of those topos? There's different there's different dates. Aksubin, which is Nebraska backwards. I remember that. I've heard there's some maps from like the 60s, and then there's some from the 90s. But I haven't gone through it yet. I just got them today, and it's going to take a while to go through them all. Okay, bro, you can have any map you want. You know that. Well, stars die, but we're not going to be around to see it, Lisa. That's true. Where warm waters halt is precise, and guessing will get the searcher nowhere. That's true. I agree, Monarcha, but how do we find the correct warm waters halt? Sun setting on the mountains. I know a lot of people have thought the blaze is the sun, like coming through a crevice or a crack through, boulders, and it points out, kind of Indiana Jones type from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Or a shadow that's cast, right? I like that idea too. But that tells me, for that to be true, you would have to be there the exact time of year when he was there to hide it. So, we are still live, Dave. We are still live. But we've been going for an hour, so thanks everybody for joining me with Coffee with Cow Lasers. Hope you guys had fun. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Let's talk about it. But maybe I will do another vlog on the word that is key and treasures and how you can get that message, because it really is interesting when you look at it. And is reading the poem, reading a word down crossword style, a code or a cipher? I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that. Just like he didn't mention the word anagram in that post he made. And why was that? Are you going to hide a silver coin where warm waters halt? That would be pretty interesting. If I could find a place here in Vegas that I could say, this is where warm waters halt, I should hide one there. That would be pretty cool. Bill searching in the wood. Well, Bill, what's your warm waters halt? Have you ever actually come out and said it? I don't know if you have or not. Aquarius is an air sign. Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer are water signs. Okay, I knew there were 3. I'm not real familiar with signs of the zodiac. Where is the treasure, Mike? I think the treasure is up by Yellowstone. Where, I don't know. But I think it's somewhere that him and Skippy went when they were either kids or teenagers. And remember that car ride where he got out and had to walk because they got in an argument? Well, then he picked them up, and then where did they go? I think they could have found somewhere. Maybe it's a fishing hole. Maybe it's not. But that's where he put that treasure. I don't think it's in Yellowstone National Park itself because of the legal problems and all that. And Forrest said, what if there are no legal problems? So, Wyoming or Montana, north by the border. Remember Borderline Biddies and all those Borders? They went to Borders bookstore. So maybe on the border somewhere between Wyoming and Montana. That's where I would focus. And going to if I ever get a chance. How about a vlog on aberrations in the Thrill of the Chase? Illustrations, typos, misreferences like thank Thor. I like the line in The Thrill of the Chase where it was his elbow needed some room. Remember that one where they went on the Lewis and Clark Trail? My elbow needed some room. I thought that was pretty good. So, Forrest, if you're watching, that's like my favorite line from The Thrill of the Chase. My elbow needed some room. Between Treasure Island and the Mirage. There you go. Now, see, Jeremy, now you're getting into Kalazar's Grand Adventure territory. I'd love to do a puzzle that uses like the casinos, like type stuff, but hey, I can't get into that right now because I may just do that. I think it's in Colorado. Okay. It's within 75 miles of Sled Neck. FF is a Leo. Oh, I never thought of what his sign was. On the cusp with a Virgo. A Leo. All right, interesting. Jerry, if you mean my email, it's cowlasers@gmail.com. Cook City, Montana. Yeah. If anybody's interested in a map, email me at cowlasers@gmail.com. And I'm not making any promises. Like I said, I got to go through them and inventory them. But I will definitely make a vlog on what me and K-Pro decide to do with those maps. If anybody's interested in all of them, make an offer, send an email. But like I said, no promises. All the asterisks in the Thrill of the Chase, all the postmarks. That's right. All I remember about the postmarks is I thought somebody asked him and he would not say one way or the other if there were hints in the postmarks. I would like to interview you, Dave Calvi. If you find the treasure chest, I would like to interview you. Wouldn't that be an interview? Fire signs are Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. And it's interesting that try the wheel, the medicine wheel, they point in certain directions, and there's fire, earth, water, and I think air. It all kind of ties into that stuff. The astrology and signs and all that kind of stuff. Spent 4 days there this summer. Love that town. Earth signs. Yeah, earth, fire, water, air. Forrest Fenn's email. Should I give that out? It's common knowledge. It's forrestfen@gmail.com. Now, will he email you back or not? That's up to him. The elbow room demonstrates his sense of humor. Yeah, I agree, Sean. I like that line. And I also like when he said, "My shadow is not cast by a fool." I really like that one, too. I don't know how much for all the maps. You're going to have to make an offer on that one, because I'm not sure. Only interested in marked maps. Okay, Bill, and I'll go through and get an idea of how many those are. K-Pro just wants to burn it down. So when K-Pro does come back on YouTube, you guys are going to be watching, right? So make sure you subscribe to the Raven's Nest, because she will be back at some point, and I think she's going to have a couple things to talk about. But that's just my opinion. Yep, forrestfen@gmail.com. No, Dave, I just got the maps today. Nobody has seen any of the maps other than the pictures that were on eBay. So, what's the simplest word in the poem? Forrest says to simplify. Is that the word that is key? The simplest word in the poem is probably I, as I have gone alone in there. Who is I? Looking at it from a word perspective, I guess. Somebody's called Christy Thor good, and I'm getting that confused with K-Pro. Yeah, I know K-Pro. All right. 31.3. Wow, how did that happen? I missed that one. 50 miles of elbow room. But they went on the Lewis and Clark Trail, right? And that's up in that area. That's up in that whole area that I'm talking about. A lot of the book is in that area, right? Don't know why I was stuck on New Mexico for so long. I think I got hung up on the, the books only went to the Collected Works bookstore and 2 trips in one afternoon. He had to do it from home, but he really didn't. He was up there at the Cody, Buffalo Bill in Cody Museum. He could have hit that at any time. So I'm going to be back up there in that area when I start to search. And I'm going to go to Yellowstone. One of these summers, I want to go, and I want to take my boys to Yellowstone. I've never talked to anybody that went to Yellowstone that said they didn't like it. Everybody says it's beautiful. Everybody says you got to go. And most people that I've talked to that have been back several times. So, and then there's rainbow trout, but those aren't brown. So let's not talk about that. It's not who you are. It's who they think you are. That's right, Lisa. Sometimes I want to share my solution. Too bad that would be a bad idea. I was about to say if only there was an anonymous way you could share your solution, but that's what forums are for, right? Make a screen name and share it. Yeah, I got the Thrill of the Chase right here. William, if you want me to look something up, I got it right here. Collected Works equals WWWH. Well, then I've been to the War Warm Waters Halt, if that's the case. Kerwin, it's in Montana. And the other line I like is where he's talking about Frosty, his supervisor or his boss, and he says if you give him an inch, he thought he was a ruler. Something like that. I like that line too. Worst thing about Yellowstone, people driving too slowly. Well, they're taking in all the sights. I guess there would be, huh? The treasure story is what led me to Yellowstone, but Yellowstone itself is what keeps me going back. I know, Alan, and I want to go experience that for myself. Top 10 hit in 1941, 50 miles of elbow room. I didn't know that, Davio. That's a real song. Gary, that's a good question. Why do I think Forrest knows that the treasure chest hasn't been found? He says he put something in that treasure chest he has never talked about, but the finder will like it. And whatever that thing is, it's going to make them contact Forrest Fenn. The issue with that theory is what happens after Forrest dies. Who are they going to contact? I mean, could it be something in the chest that says, as long as I'm alive, do this? I personally think it's something to do with title to the gold. The very last line of the poem is, I give you title to the gold. So I think it's some kind of document or some kind of legal ownership of something. Maybe it's the land where the treasure chest is. Probably not. Maybe it's just something that says, hey, I'm leaving this, whoever finds it. There's some kind of legal something so that when you find that treasure chest, the legal issues are taken care of. That's my personal opinion. Now, how would Forrest know that it's been found? Yeah, he could have a proxy agent. That's true, Dave. But I mean, 100 years from now? Or did he just plan that, you know what, this is going to go on until I die, and once I die, that item's no longer valid? Because once he dies, he's not going to know if it's found, right? So that's a possibility. 1933 double eagle coins. Boom. I would like to know the years of those double eagles that are in that chest. Wouldn't you guys like to know? There's 256 gold coins. I'd like to know what they are and what the year is and all that fun stuff. Maybe they get title to Forrest's house. Well, his family might have something to say about that. I've thought that maybe it was something that says, this is in my vault and you can have it. But again, Forrest's still got to be alive, so don't know. Do you think Forrest wants the chest found in his lifetime so Peggy doesn't have to fend off mentally ill searchers with axes? Yeah, Ellen, that is sad. I think what Forrest Fenn set in motion is in motion, and he can't stop it right now even if he wanted to, because it's not fair. It's not fair to all the people who have been boots on the ground and who have spent thousands of hours, like I have, going through the book and the poem, to all of a sudden end it and say, this is where it was, everybody. Yeah, so Forrest Fenn's going to pass away at some point. That's life. We're all going to. And the thrill of the chase will become a urban legend. Did you hear about this treasure chest this guy hid? But I really think that YouTube is the way that's going to propagate the chase after Forrest is gone. These videos stay out there, right? Unless people decide to delete them, which we've seen happen here lately. But I won't be deleting any of my videos. So the videos are going to be how the new generation, I think, and the coin, and the Forrest Fenn coin is another way. But that's going to be what gets the word out to people in the future. The chase ends when he passes. I disagree, Bill. I don't think the chase ends when Forrest passes. I think there'll be a whole new generation coming up, but it will turn into an urban legend. People will be more like, did he really hide it? Did he really not hide it? But hopefully people will be able to watch him on the Today Show and all the interviews he's done, and they can make their own decision. Fenn said hiding the chest was a time bomb. I don't remember that, Marty. Bird, do you know where he said that at? One coin on the cover is a 1931 double eagle, 20K minimum. Wow, that would be something. The most rare coin of all time. Yes, he has. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Yes, he has. What he said. How about a letter to the Yellowstone National Park superintendent? About what, Michael Harrington? A letter about what? I've been wondering how Forrest can be absolutely certain that no one can happen upon the chest, especially when it's not in a difficult place to reach. I think finding the chest is because of how he's hidden it. It's hidden in a certain way that I think somebody could walk right by it. If you don't know that you're looking for a blaze, you're never going to know to look right there. So people that have read The Thrill of the Chase and know about the treasure hunt, I hope the blaze is something that will make sense to us as searchers for the Forrest Fenn's treasure. Other people would walk right by it. But it's got to be hidden in a certain way that people could walk by it. Because he said nobody's going to happen upon it, right? Keep missing the score of the game. The chase ends in spring. Well, we've been hearing that for 8 years, Dave. But if somebody can find it, give me a call, would you? I'd like to know where Warm Waters Halt. I'd just like to know what the clues were. If a person wants to remain anonymous, that's fine. I want to know where the chest was. I personally would go to that location. Even after the chest is found, I want to go see it. I want to go follow the clues step by step and get to the location. That would make me take a boots on the ground. And I hope whoever finds it maybe puts a plaque or puts something there to commemorate the chase of the location where the chest was. I would if it was me. He did say time bomb. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what the context is of what he said it. Time bomb in what way? 1933 double eagles, huh? That's a famous coin or something? Oh, I see, Alan. Okay. He's talking about how big the chase blew up to 300,000 searchers. Many have walked right by it. That could be. A letter in the chest giving title to the contents? That could be. But then how would Forrest know? Oh, that's that coin, William. I have heard of that coin. It's not supposed to be in circulation. Well, I don't know how you'd remain anonymous then, but yeah, I did hear about that coin. Good, Dave. Call me when you find the chest. Very rare, if any, exists. The property of the U.S. government. There are several people in the chat room that have been within 500 feet. Wow, that's a thought, Covert One. That's an interesting thought. And when the solution is known, how many people could say, I was right there, I was in the area, and I walked right by it? $33 double eagles, multi-millions in value. We need 2 touchdowns in this game is what we need. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up. Calazars, your apps show up on your screen. Yeah, my apps are there. That's just because if I make this full screen, it does this. Boop. And then I got to lean back, which I guess I could. But because usually there's different people in the panel, and it shrinks everything down. So, all right, everybody, thanks for chatting with me tonight. Maybe we'll do it again next Thursday. Maybe it will be a coffee with Cow Lasers every Thursday night. Again, subscribe to the channel. And I want to say thanks to everybody because I hit 1,900 subscribers. So that's pretty awesome. And hit that little bell. And I know it's not working for Mindy, but I hope it works for everybody else, that you'll get notified when I go live. And if you join Calazar's Grand Adventure on Facebook, I will post in there when videos that I put up and when I go live. And also, I'm going to be posting the details on the next Grand Adventure about the silver coin, which I think I got a couple around here somewhere. So, bye, everybody. You can be on a panel, Dave. Let me know. If anybody wants to do a panel interview like we used to, it seems like a year ago, but what was it, a week or so ago? Just shoot me an email. Maybe we could set that up. What am I going to do when I hit 2K? Yeah, that's a good question, K-Pro. Maybe I should do a contest of some kind at 2,000 subscribers. I'm at 1,900. Who knows how long it would take to get to 2,000? But yeah, let me think about that. Maybe I will do something at 2,000. Thanks, Tanya. Dietz. Hooray for 1,900. And, all right, everybody. I'll see you next time. Yeah, my hair has gotten gray since I started the vlogs. And I've had to shave and clean up a little bit. But it comes with the territory, At least I'm not pulling my hair out yet over the treasure chest. But I'm not going to say it'll never happen. All right, Sledneck. All right, everybody. I will see you next time. Let's do it again next Thursday. Bye.